how do you typically find investment opportunities?
Typically, how do I find investment opportunities? Realtor, wholesalers. I look at Zillow. I have a ton of different alerts. I have specific alerts from different cities. As soon as something comes on market, I take a look. Facebook groups. Yeah, those are mainly the main areas.
Okay. That was good. So what criteria do you use to evaluate potential investment properties?
I need to run the numbers. So I need to understand, like, how much it is currently, like what the sell price is, what is the value of the property, right? Like if I were to get an appraisal or even just do my own calculations, the after repair value, depending on if it needs repairs. I need to understand what is market rent, right? Historically, I used to actually reach out to my realtor and ask them, like, what are the sales comp? What's the market rent there? Whereas, like, I actually, through our mentorship program and stuff, learn how to efficiently find that out myself, and run those numbers myself. But essentially, those are the main things. And then also understanding, like, what are going to be the costs, right? Estimated cost, if I'm taking a mortgage out, principal, interest, on a monthly basis, escrow for taxes, what were the real estate taxes in the previous year, which are county records, and you can take a look at that. Insurance, right? How much would home estimated kind of like insurance on a monthly basis? So all of these different things, I take a look, and then I understand, like, okay, what will my actual cash flow be, and after all of those expenses.
So yeah,
and one other thing, also the condition of the house is very important, right? Like how much, if does it need repair or does it not? If it does need repair, how much would it cost to repair it?
Yeah. So there was a lot of details. So like out of those, like, multitude of detail that you just gave, like what is like the three main focus? Like, for example, right? Like let's say if somebody's just watching this right now, they're like, oh my God, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the reason why I'm saying, like, what are the three main focus? Because obviously it's going to trickle down from 1, 2, 3 to the rest of the, things that they have to focus on in order to make sure they're focusing on the right property, like in terms of criteria. So what I'm saying, like, what is the three main things you think they should focus on first when they're looking for like an investment opportunity? Should they look at the condition of the house first? Should they look at the area? Should they look at compare the house to the other house on the block? Like, what do you think? What are the three major things you think they should look for?
So I guess, I would say number one, like if you're going to be a real estate investor and you want to have a successful career, all of the above, right? And it's important to take time to learn all of the above. I wouldn't recommend going in and investing in a property if you do not do all of what I said plus more that I didn't say, right? Okay. And obviously we can do other videos, and we'll talk real estate more and more to go into detail on some of these like different segment of things. But I want to put it out there, if you want to have a successful career, all of the above. In terms of what I would look for first, right? The first three, I would say first three rather than top, is, so number one, when I do say I get an address, right? Okay, I'll put in Google, and I will also look at the pictures. I'll look at the pictures to see, what does this look like? Is it completely destroyed? Is it turnkey, meaning it's completely ready for someone to just pick up their suitcase and drop it and then move in? Or is it in between? And if it is in between, how much of it is it in between, right? Is it just enough to not be completely destroyed? Or is it like it needs a little bit more cosmetic work? So taking a look at the picture so I understand the condition of the house. That's number one for me, because depending on where I'm at in my journey, I may be willing and open to take on like a renovation project, or I may be like, you know what, I'm not, like right now where I am in my portfolio, we want something that's a little bit closer to turnkey. We don't want to put in more money on renovating the property and more time. Mm-hmm. So number one, look at the picture and figure out like if it's for you or if it's not, depending on like the automatic things that you see. Mm-hmm. And then as you're looking at the list, so I would say look at the listing, mm-hmm. right? So read the picture, or look at the picture, read the description, look at the price. and look at all of those things.
Yeah.
Of the listing, review the listing. Once you review the listing and you see and you decide, like, you know what, this is a price that I'm willing to pay. And it looks like, the conditions like, okay. And, I'll be willing to kind of dive into this project. And the description is giving you some information. The second thing that I would say is, understand if it does need work, how much does it cost to need work? Get to the property. So do a walkthrough, ask your realtor. Yeah, exactly. Ask your realtor to set up an appointment. So you can go and walk through the property, or send a contractor or send someone to walk through the property. And when you do that, you can automatically, if there is work to be done, send a contractor, so then they can tell you how much, estimated work it'll take. And you can send a couple. I've had projects where I've sent like several different contractors to get a sense of how much something will take. So that's number 2, because now I know, all right, how much it costs, how much it might take to actually renovate the property. Number 3, understand rent. How much can I charge here? Right? Like cost, basically, or cash flow, I would say. How much can I cost? What are my expenses? So those are the 3 first things that I typically will do. Okay. Read the listing if it's comfortable, and if it looks nice from virtually. Get in the door, understand, what is actually wrong with it through the contractor, through an inspector as well. And if it's still kind of like, okay, this makes sense, look at the numbers. I would typically look at the numbers before, even like I would look at market rent, even like way before scheduling to go in there. But look at the numbers. How much can I charge for rent? What will my expenses be? What is my cash flow?
Yeah, I think that was good. Very detail based, and I think whoever's watching it can just go ahead and just kind of like dissect it and take the information that they need, and apply it to where it will be valuable to them.
And so, if you guys have questions, make sure you leave questions down below in the comment, and we can do shorter videos or shorter clips with responses to those questions. Yeah.
Next, well, the reason I set up those questions for a reason. And these next questions are going to be more like, kind of like not poking, but it will kind of like open up like real experience and real stories of things that happen. But the reason why I did it that way is because, like, for example, somebody's watching this right now, like, do you think that those questions that I just asked you and those answers that you gave, do you think if somebody's watching this right now, they would just skip this, or they would sit there and watch it? Like, and I'm not talking about a real estate fanatic, because, a real estate fanatic would just, whatever they see, anything real estate, they would just go look at it.
Like me.
Right. So, yeah. So what I'm saying, do you think anybody random, like maybe probably thought about real estate, let me just click on this, and, based on the interaction, the questions and the answers, you think they'll go like, oh, this was enjoyable?
I think so. I think they would say it's informative. Like, I think like, people like is good, but people, but I think that anyone looking to make money anyway is looking to, okay, let me learn as much as I can. I don't know. I think that's what I think. And I think real estate is a very hot topic right now. I think there's a lot of people who are trying to transition and cross over, and they're trying to gain as much information as possible. And, different people have different nuggets. I hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full video, click below, and don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you guys like, comment, and share.